Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead, and it's time to dry some herbs. Now my dehydrator is a war horse right now. It's going 24/7 almost. So we're not going to do them in the dehydrator. If you do your herbs in the dehydrator, do not allow the temperature to get any higher than 95 degrees, or you will begin to lose flavor as well as any medicinal properties that these herbs can give. Okay? Now, what I have here, I bought this just because when I got it at the grocery store. Now this obviously is some kind of rosemary plant, but it's called the curry plant. And when you pinch it, I pinched a leaf in the store, it smells like curry. So I'm going to now take my handy dandy twist tie. Now my pantry at this time of year, especially at this time of year, is very dim and cool, and I'm just going to hang these in here. Now here we have rosemary. We don't have a whole lot of rosemary because it fought with me. It fought with me. But you know, when you got a nice array of herbs, you really don't need, oops. I'm gonna have to go out and see if I can find any tough old basil, if any has survived. So here's our rosemary. And here is our parsley. We don't need a lot because most of this, the parsley, the rosemary, my thyme did not come up. And any basil I get and oregano, it's all going to go into my Italian seasoning mix anyway. Because I do already have parsley in the cupboard. I'm making spaghetti, but Howie's getting pasta. I'm just going to string these for noodles. Now here is, I planted my oregano in a pot because I heard it was very invasive. So, but I didn't weed it properly, and I thought, how am I gonna, it was just overgrown with weeds. And I thought, how am I gonna tell the difference? So I just began pulling weeds, and then all of a sudden, one of them gave off the aroma of oregano. And so I just started looking for these particular branches. And we don't have a lot of the oregano, but oregano is really pungent. So we're going to, this, like I said, is going to be used in our Italian seasoning. Pull off any, dead or discolored leaves. The twist ties work well. You can use string, but twist ties work well so that as these dry and shrink, it still holds on. There's our oregano. And I already have some sage. I'm just going to drop all these bits into my spaghetti tonight. I already have some sage hanging in the pantry, so I can show you what it looks like when it's dry. And I'll take it down and I'll show you how I store it. All right, I'll meet you in the pantry. Okay, so here's my parsley, my oregano, my rosemary, my fresh sage, and my curry plant. And here is the sage I picked a couple of weeks ago. Let's bottle this up, shall we? Okay, so we're back in the kitchen. Now I have a small collection of these little jars, and I happen to also have a selection of corks. And I have enough to fit these jars. So, here's our sage. Notice the use of the big old twist tie. Now, I want to take this branch by branch. And if you're worried about like insects, if you want to let, hang it in your pantry or anything like that, most insects aren't fond of strong smelling herbs. I'll tell you what, it's going to taste real good in turkey stuffing. To put my sage into my Ninja blender single serving thing, it really works well as a grinder. And we're just going to grind this up with the single. I like rubbed sage, but it being powdered is just as well. And we're not really going to powder it, we're just coarsely chopping it. There we go, look at that. Oh God, fresh ground sage is like nothing you'll ever have. Your own fresh ground herbs. Now this isn't powdery. Remember, sage is kind of a soft, fuzzy leaf. So this is just perfect. So we're just going to put it in this jar here. Oops. Because it's been hanging in my pantry for a good 2 weeks. We're going to put the cork on that. And on this jar with my Sharpie Extreme, but at the top where you can see it from the cork, I'm going to write sage. Here's our herbs. Now, this isn't all of our herbs, it's just the oregano, the rosemary, the parsley, and basil from my garden. So first, let's get rid of the twist ties and the stems. I'm going to do these backwards so that I get it all. I may see, and here's our parsley, I may see if I can get some more out of the garden and stock up a bit more, but I mean, I grow an herb garden every year. As long as it's producing before the first hard frost, I will continue to harvest. Take the stems out. And here's our basil. God, this is so fragrant. Now, it doesn't have to be, it's not a tablespoon of this, a tablespoon of that. It's whatever I got going on, right? And I'm just going to rub this all between my hands. No need to grind. This will do enough to make sure I get any little bits of twig or stem out of there. Make sure when you go to use your parchment for pouring that you get it a good straight line. It's not a lot of Italian seasoning, but as I dry what's to come, I will add more. This is the Mrs. Mulvey from our half-acre homestead saying, it doesn't take a lot of space to grow a lot of flavor. Take care, God bless.